Alright, so this video goes out to Dylan, Daniel and Jack. The three of them realized something yesterday, a little trick of maths. Well, it's not even really a trick, it's just a useful thing to know. And that is that this word, of, in maths, this is essentially the same as saying times, multiplied. Of means times. Now this is really handy when we're looking at percentages, because sometimes you might get something like this. What is 17% of 25? Now at first glance you're thinking, no prob, reach for my calculator. Well, maybe you don't have a calculator with you. There's an easy way to sort this out. Now you could actually do this the standard maths way. 17%, well that's the same as 0.17. So what we could do, now remember of means times, so we're actually multiplying 25 by 17%. What you could do is actually do this problem. You don't need a calculator. 7 5s are 35, so we put that down, we carry the 3, 2 7s are 14, plus that 3 makes 17, and we carry the 1, and that's just going to come down here. Grand. And now the 1, well the 1 is moved in one space, so we fill that space with a 0. 1 5 is 5, 1 2 is 2, and then we just add these together. We have a 5, 7 and 5 is 12, carry the 1, the 1, the 1 and the 2, that's going to make a 4. Not our final answer, of course, because we count how many decimal places in the question, and we can see that there are 2 decimal places, and we make our answer have the same number of decimal places. So there we go. 17% of 25 is 4.25 or 4 1/4. So that's one way you can find the answer. But let's look at that word of, meaning times, and what you can do with times. The thing about multiplication is that it is commutative. Right, so let's say we have 2 times 3, well hopefully we all know that one is 6, but what if we switcheroo, what if we go 3 times 2 instead? You'll note that we're still getting the same answer. This is what we mean by commutative. You can change the order for multiplication and you're still going to get the same answer. And this is really handy, because if we go back to that original problem there, 17% of 25, remember that of just means times, so let's just delete that and make it a times. Well, multiplication is commutative, so instead of 17% of 25, let's go 25% of 17, and suddenly the maths becomes a lot easier, because 25%, well that's just a quarter, isn't it? Now a quarter of 16, that's 4, and a quarter of that 1 left over is just a quarter, so straight away my answer is going to be the 4 1/4. So the maths became a lot easier. Instead of 17% of 25, it just looks tricky. Switch it up, 25%, so just a quarter of 17. And we got 4 1/4, and when we actually do the maths, yep, sure enough, same answer, 4 1/4. So that's just a handy little thing about percentages. Sometimes it might look tricky, but if you change the order of them, you realize, hey, not so much. Let's just do another couple of quick examples. How about we have 32% of 20? No calculators allowed. Here we go. The first thing we're going to do is switch that up. So we're going to say 20% of 30. Oh wait, sorry, it's not of 30, it's of 32. There we go, that's better. Well, 10% of 32, actually let's just write this down. 10% is going to be 3.2. Well, 20% is just going to be double that, isn't it? So if 10% is 3.2, then 20% is going to be 6.4, and there's your answer. So 32% of 20 is 6.4. We just found it a slightly different way by switching the percentages. We'll do one more quick example now. How about we look at 64% of 75, and you can probably see where I'm going with this. We're going to switch them around, and of course 75% is just 3/4, right? So that will give us 75% of 64. We're looking at 3/4 of 64. So what do? We divide 64 by 4. 64 over 4, that is going to give us 16. But then it wasn't 1/4 that we wanted, it was 3 of them. So let's just multiply that by 3. Now, please don't ever do this. Hey, now I'm going to multiply it by 3 and get that answer. Don't do that. I really need to make a video about this because I've seen even teachers do this. You can't combine separate equations because 64 over 4 is not the same as 16 times 3, right? And that equals means is the same as, but no, it's not. So don't just do it like that. Start a separate equation. I'll just do mine over the side here. So 16 times 3 will give us our final answer of 48. So 64% of 75 is 48. Alright, so a little trick, although, like I say, it's not really a trick of maths, it's just something to realize what you can do with percentages. And that can make percentages suddenly become a whole lot easier. Well, that's the video done. If you liked it, brilliant. Hit the like button and leave me a comment too. Now you know what to do. Go hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.